Good morning, everybody. My hand doesn't know where to go today. Well, Chase, I love your question. Let me get all the energy set and then we'll talk about it, all right? So we're going to call in Mother and Father God into everyone's heart, along with the pink ray, Orion. And then we're going to ask for all the phylums of the angels and the ascended masters to come and to be ever with us. We're going to ask all the universal students that want to learn and to walk in a new way also come and sit with us on this day. And we'll do our mantra. I am the soul. I am the light divine. I am love. I am will. I am fixed design. All right. So Chase presented me with a question is, how do we stay in grace no matter what is happening around us? And I think this is an excellent question. And first we have to examine what is meant by grace. And different religions, if that's what we want to give that energy to, have different perceptions. But from my perception, it is when in the moment, nothing is bothering you, that you're giving, God has granted you a dispensation to be at peace. And why does he do that? Because he can see very evidently that you need help. So your question to me is, how do we stay in that? And that answers from me is going to be about believing in God and Mother and the power that they have, and that whatever it is that's going on, you can choose in the back of your chakras and within your aura to surrender your will to God's will. Meaning that whatever's going on and whatever brings up the personality part of you, when you ask for a state of grace, there is a freedom given to your soul, to your spirit, to be able to be quiet within yourself and remember the love that you are. Remember the love of God that's in your heart. So what I also do myself is I imagine that I have a platter in front of me and just speak from my heart of what's going on and giving it to God, which is actually the surrendering. Whatever the situation, whatever has made itself too noisy in your life in some way, just be willing. And there's a big factor here of willingness. Put it on the platter and let God have it. That's one of the greatest possibilities we can learn, is that we're not in this life alone. That Mother and Father walk with us. They're always awake and aware of us. And all we need to do is ask. Resolutions, perceptions can come from their being brought into the scenario. So here, when we're talking about surrendering and having grace, is you want to give it up from that place that you believe that all is always in perfect moment, however it looks. We understand that there's times, even in understanding that, it's difficult. So see if you can bring in a platter as you ask for grace to come and bring peace and harmony within you, and that you can sit in the pureness of your truth. You must give that which isn't, that worrisome, that problem, that difficulty, onto the platter. And from anywhere within the self, let it go and put it on this platter. And then I call for 3 doves. 3 doves are going to come to lift this up into God's hands. And I have to say, the first time this was shared with me, I had doubt. But once I saw and could feel the release of that burden, of that conflict, it's how I've handled it ever since. So whatever it is, this is how you hold the state of grace, by remembering that which you believe in, that which is always there to be with you, to work with you, to protect you, and that they're alive and well and listening, and you are protected. So give up that which that ego mind, monkey mind can't stop dwelling about. There's nothing that your humanness can do without being in harmony with God. And once you bring harmony from God in and surrender, there's even a greater possibility of resolution, you see. So let's take a moment together, whatever may be a problem with anyone here, and let's place it on a platter, whatever kind. It can be a wooden platter, a silver platter. Just keep pulling it out, and letting those lumps of words just lay on that platter that have been going through and through and through your mind. Tears, let them go. And then we're going to, when you're ready, call for 3 doves in their purity and in their grace to lift it up to God so he can bring resolution. A lot of times when people are having one pattern come up after another, which as you get really active on your path can certainly happen. Another time I ask for a state of grace for them, that they can have maybe a week or 2 of living life in the harmony they have discovered, and that it'll be taken back up and when the time they've decided to get back to work. The journey is a process of evolution, and we do have to look at ourselves, and we have to clear, we have to embrace. But in that process, we are learning. We're learning about surrender, learning about grace itself, and learning about believing and understanding what really is the divine power of God, and how does it feel, and when does it come for you. And the truth is it will come whenever you ask. When you are rooted and within the essence of your heart, God will hear you. So I hope this helps. Let me know, Chase, if you have another question from this. And I'll say hello to everyone while you're perhaps writing. So Annie, good morning. Carol Swisher, Christina, Barbara Ward, Marby, Kathy Marino, good morning. I hope everything's been well with you. All right. So Chase is saying it helps a lot. So it isn't just her. If anyone else has a question, but it's a peaceful place to have. Now, church dogma, I don't know how else to say it, would say it's a purity from sin. in the spiritual understanding that I have been given, I don't see those same words in the instance, but certainly if that works for you, that's fine. And good morning, Kim J. So, and there's also a piece of forgiving yourself, because we do allow things to overtake our world and to remove us from where we are in our truth in that moment. And that is the path to get to where eventually that doesn't happen. That you can hold the truth you know of God within you and act in that way with everyone. But I do understand it is part of the growth. And I'm so grateful that you asked the question. All right. Very good. So, all right. So I can wait at the bottom to see if anyone has a question. I don't remember if we did the mantra today. Did we? Let's do it again, just to get ourselves back into our calm and peace within us. Oh, now I can remember we did, but let's do it again. I am the soul. I am the light divine. I am love. I am will. I am fixed design. And see, what you're really asking of yourself is to discover that for every day. To be that. That is a fixed space of light that you will share and express in the world. And most importantly, to yourself. All right. So Jesus did come to me this morning. And of course, he was quite relaxed. And he gave me the message he's going to talk on. He didn't tell me much about it. But he's going to talk about division. So if you're all ready, does anyone else have a thought or a question before we start? All right. So we'll allow him to come forward. Sorry, I'm glad that dinged before I continue. All right. Good morning, my brothers and my sisters. I desire for you to come to sit with me on the mountain of Shasta. And if you have not been there, may I say to you, it is only that which I know is beautiful. And the energy is crisp and clear. And the violet flame erupts from the ground almost everywhere you look. for those who can see. And I speak it to you because I know everyone here has at some time been there, perhaps lived there, below the earth in the Lemurian energy. There are ancient Lemurians who have come to me to ask for me to begin to have you remember. Ancient priests desire for you to begin once again to hold the quickening that they once represented upon the top of the world. So this brings me to our discussion. As I told TheoSophia, very simply today, it is about division. Very many ways this word exists in all of our worlds. For instance, within the experience of your body, the division of the man and the woman. The form you lead, whether it is man or woman, simply is dependent on which has come into life with a greater power, with different lessons to learn. But the male of you is learning also, and to understand and to begin to bring a bond into this division is part of the truth of who you are. Let's think of my brother, Master Babaji. He lives upon this earth, and if you look at him, you would see man and woman. He has brought it into a great balance within himself. And this is the true intent for every soul. For within each chakra, as the male and feminine war with each other, separate, don't speak, anger, blaming. Does this sound familiar to any of you? It has leaked not only into you, but into the world. So, it is Kuan Yin and Buddha who speak most eloquently of this challenge. It isn't that the feminine desires the greater power, nor is it the male. It is to understand the harmony versus the division. And this is what at one means, not only within the self, but within all beings and within the world. It is a shift in thought and understanding. For when you, if you're female, are angered at perhaps father and brother and friend and the male, you need to look at yourself and the male part of you. The male is the part of you that's the doer. And maybe you're not happy with how they're doing. Or this is when control can be discovered on either party. There is not one way it is. And everyone's series of chakras will be different. But to reach a point in time when that male-female dances together, when there is a love. Am I not correct? That is what we're looking for deep inside you, is the love. It cannot be complete unless the love within you, within your cells, within your chakras, has come into the harmony of peace and grace, if we would like to say, and add that word today. I heard sometimes the male feels inadequate. Sometimes it's the feminine. It doesn't matter who or what, But part of your journey is to bring it to balance. And of course, there will be forgiveness. And of course, I do have something special that you can use to help bring this into balance once you have looked inside. Let's do one for an example. Let's go into the heart. Each of you, right now, and ask to see the feminine, which will be on your left side. And what is she doing? Getting things done. Uh-huh. Do you see her taking a moment to look to the right? I don't see that in most. But it could be different for you. But where I'm looking at right now, the feminine looks to be within her own power. Yes. So let's call for the man energy, the male energy of the heart chakra at the Pushu. And for each of you, it could be different. But I see one that is not so busy or asleep. And if it is for you one that's so busy, what is your feelings in the feminine? Is there harmony or is there separation and division? So here is what you do. If you wish, when you see this separation, as you bring the violet flame in the shape of a figure 8 from right to left and left to right, and allow the violet flame to transform their separation. As you see it, you will begin to see whatever could be holding the distortion releasing itself. Yakatapashana. Yes, a releasing breath. But it isn't just letting it release. We must perceive the attitude, the behavior, and the love shift. Adabokiteshinanamomo. Just keep letting it go from right to left and left to right. And one of them will begin to have an interest in the other. Maybe it's about listening. If that is the issue, whoever it is will begin to hear, begin to listen. And perhaps they do not speak well with each other. Whatever it is going to shift into a soft, gentle voice, remembering that our voice expresses itself through my Father. Even if you're one that there is not a man in your life, you still have a male within you. And perhaps in doing this experiment, you will discover why, and perhaps how to fill that space. So I'm still feeling healing happening, but this is unity within you. It's beginning to slow, and the violet flame is beginning to get larger and more free. And perhaps some of them are beginning to dance and having a desire to fulfill their destiny together. Excellent. And if you're one that can see, you will see a beautiful pink of Orion coming, surrounding the two of them. And what is this going to do? If you only do this one chakra, it will change your heart feelings. But if you take time and do them through every chakra, life will change for you. Because who you are, on the left and on the right, the male and the female, will have decided to move through life in harmony. Will have decided to just forgive. Will have decided to be at peace, you see? It's just one more piece of the puzzle. How you can look at those things which are divided in division and find fullness and completion. It occurs again in the cellular structure. It is how you grow from 2 cells to 4 to 8 to 16. This occurs for every soul unless a dysfunctional thought comes in to create a disease to stop it. And this is the same true for illness. For this body has no intention until the thought changes. Perhaps it is from the past, as we've spoken of, that which comes from the karma. But all is transferable to the union. All has the capacity to be loved. And not just by you. When you allow my father and my mother to love you, the possibilities are endless. But you must be willing. You would be surprised how many aren't. They choose to be the victim. There is a large division of individuals in our world that are victims and are proud of it and feel lost if we try to take it from them. Contemplate that for me. This is part of that which I do, is hold thought and radiate love to those who believe that victim consciousness is real, or how you receive love. So many things that are not true. So for a moment, let's radiate our hearts out not only through yourself and your own chakra system, but to the world and see the chakras of the earth. And let's bring them the truth that there need not be victimization, for you are at choice. And if there are those things that come to create disturbances, then you can shine the light of the love of God to it. And let it bring transformation and healing. Good, thank you. There cannot even be the division of people, who is to say who you've been another life. Now you've come at who you are, but most assuredly you have been other people, color, male or female, in other lives. So be aware of your judgment, of your decisive separation. If not within you, then help heal it within the world. These are all the things that are creating this world you live in from being uncomfortable and divided, separate. allowing the love you discovered perhaps to not be pure, for the consciousness which brings it must be pure, must be in forgiveness, must be in embrace, and with a love that is everlasting. And yes, for even the male who exists within the bottom of the feet, perhaps they have had a difficult road to trot upon. And the one place you can find consolation not only in God's heart, but within each other's heart, the male, the female. And perhaps for them to embrace their hands and walk together versus trying to climb this mountain alone. Help is a wonderful awareness. There is always help. There is a division on Shasta, for the height is a difference much as you and your conscious state. There is the comfortable state, and then as you grow, it becomes more in depth. The functions of the brain and the capacity of what it hears and knows and can bring in shifts. So we need not let there be a division separating us. We need to embrace it. And as we share that, more will grow. More will lift upward into the higher dimensions. And more will experience truth. For remember, truth changes every day. It moves with the wind, as my brother Babaji would say. It moves with the movement of the leaves as they drop and run along the river, and how they go turby-tumble, and yet they find their way. Remember, there is always the way in light. It is always an option, no matter what. Always, light will be there for you. Always, Mother, Father will come to be with you. So, our friend Chase and your question. Perhaps it is time, when you are ready, to believe and let Mother, Father touch your heart. Let their warmth for all of you to percolate as if it is getting warm. And let the warm experience of that love move through every cell of who you are, because it is growing. The DNA is growing. There is not such a thing as separation, there is union. Union and oneness, part of the whole. So, in my leaving now, I realize I must leave my favorite place, the mountain. Know that the other part of you which lives within you is of the Holy Spirit. Mount Shasta is the place of the Holy Spirit. And let it become you. Let it be that brilliant star of light that is you. And perhaps you're just not sharing it yet. Many blessings to each of you on this day. And may my gift to you for this time be the freedom of life, the freedom of thought, and most importantly, to be free with your love. Many blessings. Very good. You can come back into the room. Any questions or thoughts? Thank you, Carol. You're welcome, Chase. And Kathy? I think I've left you with a lot to contemplate, to experience. Another level of getting to know you and what's capable within you. So, I'm going to wish you many blessings. I'll see you tomorrow with more messages. Much love to all of you. Thank you.